You might know me as the LEGO YouTuber who makes videos where he crushes review. Start over. Hi, you may know me as the LEGO YouTuber with 500 subscribers who crushes LEGO sets with a lightsaber. But today, I am not coming to you as that YouTuber. Today, I am coming to you as, well, the same YouTuber, but I'm not talking about Legos today. I'm talking about books. Because here's the thing. I have been doing LEGO YouTube for so long, and I took a break for like a year and a half because I wasn't really into it anymore. LEGO's pricing is getting too high. So what I really want to do, and I realized this recently, is I really want to be a book YouTuber. And on top of that, I really want to write a book. So that is my goal. I'm making this video here to start my book writing series in which I will talk about like my planning, my characters, and everything. Anyway, but this is kind of an intro video to that, where I wanted to talk about fantasy and the books I want to write, the books that I like to read, and all of that. So thank you guys so much for clicking on the video. You may have noticed my spiffy armor. Yes. So maybe some rebranding coming up soon, but yeah, I know, matches my Lego figure from all those years ago. So why the switch? Well, I made a video like a week or so ago, talking about the end of my YouTube channel, where I went back and looked through all of my old videos and all of my old stuff. And really, the thing that I discovered was that I was making these videos and I got really good at making the videos, but the videos themselves didn't change. I was doing the same thing, just better. And at some point, you can only take that so far. You have to develop yourself. You can't keep making the same videos and hope to continue to succeed. And my books just fell, but that's fine. You have to change things up. You have to develop new ideas. You have to, I don't know why, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but evolve your process, right? And so at this point for me with the LEGO channel, I'm not sponsored. I'm not making any money. I have a lot of Legos that I haven't reviewed, but that was how I started. And yes, did it help me get 600 subscribers? Yes. Could it probably help me get 600 more subscribers? Yeah, I mean, probably, but it's a lot of work for not a lot of return. And it's really not something I'm interested in anymore. If I were already getting paid for it, right, then it would be something I might continue because I have a place to start from. Not that I don't have a place to start from, but anyway. So why the switch? Because books are the thing I'm interested in now. Legos were the thing 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when I was doing that YouTube channel, this YouTube channel, that I was really interested in. They were at the forefront of my time. I was thinking about them constantly. Now that thing is books, right? And here's the thing, I've always loved books, but during high school, because I started this LEGO YouTube channel during high school, I didn't really have time to read a lot of books, right? And so now that I've graduated high school, I have a lot more time. So here I am in the flesh, in my suit of armor, and we're going to be talking about books. So why do I want to write a book, you may ask yourself, right? So, it's my cat in the background. One is because I really want to have the challenge, right? It's kind of inspiring to see these people who like invent these worlds and these stories, and I want to be a person who can do that. And you don't just get to do that by sitting down one day, right? You have to work at it. You think about authors like Tolkien didn't start with The Hobbit, he has his other stuff, and then you think about stuff like the Silmarillion, right? There's all of those stories that didn't come to fruition. Hello, cat. There's all of those stories that didn't come to fruition. And the thing is, with even modern authors, you see the same thing. Brandon Sanderson, who I've got some books of here. Martin, right? He spends so much time on his books that it's been 14 years since the last one released. At least the last Game of Thrones one, right? Which is fine. No shade. I understand that it's hard. Anyway, I am enticed by the challenge. I really want to take it on. The second thing is because I am at heart a creative person, right? There's a reason that I want to start this YouTube channel. Obviously, you guys don't know a ton about me in real life, but I promise you, I do a lot of artistic and creative things amidst everything else that I do, right? It's always kind of been in the background, but something that I'm inspired by and I want to be a part of. That's why the YouTube channel keeps coming back, even though my books keep falling, right? And even though I keep failing, I keep coming back. And that's part of why I'm here today. Anyway, so today I want to talk about why fantasy and what are my favorite books. So fantasy, well, let me preface this by saying, I recently finished watching Game of Thrones. I thought the ending was actually pretty good. I do think that the lead up to the ending was really not good because it was so rushed. I won't spoil anything, but it was just the end. It made sense and it was a great ending, but a lot of the characters in the ending hadn't gotten to the point where they should be before they made the transition to their final form, right? Which is a bad way to put it, but you know what I mean if you've seen the show. Anyway, I love fantasy. I always love fantasy, but I hadn't been reading a lot of fantasy for, I don't know, who knows how long. I read Eragon. Hello, cat. I read Eragon when I was a kid, which I'm rereading it now and it's okay, but like when I was a kid, I loved it. I read a book called The Wildwood, which is, hello cat. Yes, cat, I know. Cat. Anyway, I always love fantasy. I always love sci-fi. I love reading these books from the golden age of sci-fi with like Larry Niven. I used to love to read these all the time, and then at some point I stopped because I didn't have time anymore. I was partly because I was focusing more on other things like Legos and on video games and other stuff that like was more interesting to me. But then anyway, flash forward to this past year, when before I started watching Game of Thrones, I read the first book, which is over here somewhere, Game of Thrones by George R. R. Martin. And rereading that, obviously, if my books will stop falling, rereading that reminded me how much I love fantasy and like rekindled the flame inside of me to come back to it, right? There's always been stuff in the background. I'm like, I played Dark Souls, I love Dark Souls, I played Elden Ring, I like Elden Ring, Dark Souls is better in my opinion. All that is to say, I have been reminded why I love fantasy. Now I am back in it because I have time to read it again. And rereading it and watching these YouTube videos, especially of Brandon Sanderson doing his lecture, and reading Game of Thrones, which is such a rich world and such great characters, has just made me want to do it. Like, and I feel like I can. I feel like in my brain, there is the power to write a great fantasy book. I just have to use it. And I've been trying. I have written at this point, I've written like the start of one short story. And by the start, I mean like several pages. So it's not like I barely started, but you know, I'm not really in the actual, it's mostly been exposition up until points. The characters are about to reach the inciting incident. To use some Freytag's, Freytag's pyramid terminology there. So this video is noting that I am shifting, right? I am shifting. The end of the channel was not a lie. I'm not gonna come back with Lego. I'm coming back, but we're gonna keep some of the same content. We're gonna use some new content. We're gonna keep moving forward, but it's not gonna be the same. The B&D Bricks, the old era of this channel is over. Now we are in this new era, and I'm not sure what yet, but I think I'm gonna rename the channel. I'm gonna change the icon, I'm gonna change the branding, everything. Probably me wearing this medieval armor that I think is awesome. I also have a helmet and the things that I'm forgetting right now, the things that go on your forearms, the bracers, that's what it is. And I could take a photo of myself wearing that or something, I don't know, we'll see. But the channel is changing and I'm here for it. I hope you guys are too. If you're not really interested in this, feel free to unsubscribe. I know that this is not the content that you probably subscribed for 2 years ago, but then at the same time, you've been subscribed for me for 2 years without me uploading anything. So, you know, I hope that means you liked me enough, or at least forgot about me enough to not unsubscribe. That'd be great. If you're excited to hear about my book processes, yeah, plural, and you're interested in fantasy, or you're interested in reading and writing, or you want to hear me talk about this, probably I'm going to do some book reviews too. I'll probably still do some Lego reviews. Honestly, it'll just shift to medieval from Star Wars. Yeah, I think that is about it. So coming forth, book reviews, updates on my books / short stories / novels / novellas / you get it. And that includes like writing processes, world building, brainstorming, characters, plot lines, and also like the publishing process, right? As I get into that, which will probably take a while on that. And then other than that, maybe like, I'll probably do some like tier lists, some stuff about like my favorite characters and what I love about certain books. I can also do movies, like I'll also do some other medieval like movies. Expect more videos. I'm like really excited about this, guys. I don't know if you can tell, I'm like really excited. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. Expect more soon, including a review of this book by Brandon Sanderson, The Way of Kings, which is fantastic. Like seriously, if you are into reading and you're willing to take 1,000 pages, which it's not a hard read, you will get it, you will enjoy it. Okay, I'll stop talking. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.